Hello everyone, you're now with me, Ruben Gomez for TVS Nightline. Now, let's begin. Malaysia's daily COVID-19 infections continue to record an upward trend with 12,735 cases today, bringing the cumulative number to 2,245,695. Sarawak continued to record the most cases with 2,487, followed by Selangor with 1,940 and Johor 1,241.
In Sarawak, most of the cases are in Category 1 and 2 with 2,472 or 99.4%. The remaining 15 cases or 0.60% are in Categories 3, 4 and 5. Kuching district reported the highest infections today with 745 cases, followed by Miri 361 and Serikei 168. Meanwhile, 15 COVID-19 fatalities were reported from September 21st to 29th. One new community cluster emerged today dubbed the Batu Lapan Jalan Kubong cluster in Limbang. 6 clusters have ended as no new infections recorded in the past 28 days. The clusters are Long Maktub cluster in Sebau, Ladang 0004 Kuala Baram cluster in Marudi, Jalan Bintulu Bakun cluster in Bintulu, Jalan Pending cluster, Batu Kawah Market cluster and Silicon Valley cluster in Kuching. There are now 110 active clusters with 9 of the clusters reported 25 new infections. The opening of the country's borders to foreign tourists will only be determined after Malaysia moves into the endemic phase.
Apabila kita telah pun bersedia, Kementerian Kesihatan akan mengumumkan. Dan sekarang ini masih lagi dalam isu fasa pandemik. Kalau kita dah boleh masuk ke fasa endemik, dan insya-Allah bila semua dah bersedia, sebenarnya immigration dah bersedia. PGA pun dah bersedia, kita dah bersedia. Cuma dari segi SOP kita nanti bila fasa endemik itu akan ditetapkan, itu baru kita boleh umumkan waktu bagaimana untuk membenarkan orang keluar masuk pintu sepadan.
Home Minister Datuk Seri Hamzah Zainuddin said the country is still in the pandemic phase and its readiness to transition to endemic phase would be decided by the Health Ministry. Hamzah added permission to cross the country's borders by Malaysians or foreigners would also be subjected to the SOP that would be decided later.
This year, more than 400,000 cases of COVID-19 infection involving individuals under the age of 18 were recorded, up from about 12,000 cases last year. Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin said of the total number of cases reported this year, there were 67 deaths, 252,569 cases involving school children, and 42,831 involving preschool students. Khairi said for the protections of those aged 12 to 17, the government had implemented a vaccination program for the group. Based on the Health Ministry's data on COVID now, 43% or 1,352,870 individuals aged between 12 and 17, teenagers, have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine as of yesterday. Commenting further, Khairi said, although the vaccination provided protection from the adverse effects of COVID-19, having the vaccination alone was not enough. Instead, the people needed to continue to observe the new normal practices to avoid the risk of infection. In addition, parents should provide support and encouragement to children to adhere to the standard operating procedures (SOPs), whether they have been vaccinated or not, besides cultivating a healthy lifestyle. A total of 817 Year 6 students from 8 primary schools in Kuching district have been vaccinated at SJK Chunghua No. 4 on Wednesday. This is the first stop for Kuching district to implement vaccination to students of that age group. According to the associations of the boards of management of aided Chinese primary schools in Kuching, Samarahan and Syrian Division President Jonathan Chai, this step is a preparation for students to return to school. In addition, he said many parents show enthusiasm in regards to the reopening of schools.
As of now, because we are at the phase 3 of NRP, so a lot of parents, they have inquired whether their kids will be going back to school on the 3rd of October. No, not in accordance with what was announced by the minister, because we are still in phase 3. So do not be over anxious and when to come back to school, but I'm sure the time will come, and we just have to wait for the announcement of the ministry.
Meanwhile, he stressed that the vaccination program is only for Year 6 students.
Yes, they must attain the age of 12 today. Only then they are allowed to be vaccinated.
The vaccination program on Wednesday is a collaboration between KPJ Kuching Specialist Hospital, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education and Sarawak Disaster Management Committee. Additionally, the vaccination program was well received by the parents of the students.
My son is having his vaccination today. I think it's good for them. Yeah, for so far he's very good. Yeah, not feeling any uncomfortable.
99.4% of individuals in MUKAH have been fully vaccinated, making the division the highest administered vaccines as of Thursday. Edging closer to the herd immunity proves the collective effort from the people and frontliners' commitment in realizing the goal.
Bahagian MUKAH dari segi kedudukannya, statistik dari segi kedudukannya adalah tertinggi. Completion of doses, 2 dosesnya. So is that the term? Yeah. Completion of 2 doses. MUKAH the highest at 99.6%. Followed by Betong 99.4, Sarike 99.1, and then Syrian 98.9, and so on and so on. Okay. So untuk itu saya ingin ucapkan tahniah kepada semua yang telah menyumbang kepada kejayaan ini.
She said the frontliners have worked tirelessly to ensure the local community received their vaccination on time.
No, they have worked very hard. Saya lihat yang JKK, struktur debah-debah ya, bekerja keras, mapping, tracing, pastikan semua yang sepatutnya divaksin tampil untuk divaksinkan. The follow up work to make sure that those that has gone for first dose and go for the second dose has been done very well. Yeah.
Meanwhile, she is also the Dalat Assemblywoman says the government will establish another COVID-19 quarantine center PKRC in MUKAH. The PKRC will be opened at MUKAH Indoor Stadium to substitute the MUKAH Polytechnic Hall, which seen that the institution to receive student intake this October. Antigen rapid test kit aim to confirm or rule out COVID-19 infection in people with or without COVID-19 symptoms. They are portable, easy to perform, less expensive than standard laboratory testing through RT-PCR, and provides instant results while a person waits. However, experts believe that only RT-PCR has the accuracy to determine whether a person is diagnosed with the virus or not, and do not rely fully on the antigen kit.
Pada segi terlalu banyak kan. Dia ada terlalu banyak brand. So there are brands yang memang kita senaraikan yang memang boleh digunakan untuk kita buat sebagai screening. Tetapi screening is one thing. Screening bukannya confirmation. When you have your test positive for saliva test, okay, ataupun yang self test, you must observe. If you have symptom, immediately you have to go to our center to confirm if you are betul-betul positive.
Therefore, she said it is important to directly contact the health department once the individual had their RT-PCR test. Then, if the individual shows signs of symptoms, they need to contact the health ministry or head to a nearby health center. It is now mandatory for all serving in the public sector to be inoculated, with exceptions only to be allowed on health grounds. The decision comes as Malaysia looks to boost vaccination rates to inoculate 80% of the population by year-end. Unvaccinated employees have been given until November 1st to complete their vaccination.
The Public Service Department in a statement said vaccinations would be made compulsory for federal staff. That aims to boost public confidence and ensure government smooth service delivery. It added that those who are unable to be vaccinated must submit their health information verified by a government medical officer, adding that those who fail to perform the required tasks before the deadline will face disciplinary action. Malaysia has around 1.6 million public servants, with nearly 98% of them vaccinated, while 16,902 or 1.6% have yet to register. The country has one of the fastest vaccine rollouts in Southeast Asia, with 61% of its 32 million population already fully inoculated.
Urbanization drive pushes constructions of infrastructure to new highs as more people begin to pursue a higher standard of living, whereby new infrastructure aims to promote industrial upgrading, foster drivers of economic growth and spur job creation. And with the access to reliable, quality, efficient and affordable infrastructure, services are critical in reducing poverty, promoting economic growth, supporting social development and building resilient communities.
The senior minister Dato Sri Fadila Yusuf said the country's infrastructure development in Malaysia will receive a big boost from the 12th Malaysia Plan as the nation's economy revives. As the custodian of infrastructure development in Malaysia, the Works Ministry also promotes the internationalization of the construction sector in line to provide a conducive environment for economic growth and international competitiveness.
In facilitating trade, we continue to actively participate in the development of the ASEAN Sectoral Mutual Recognition Arrangement for Building and Construction Materials, or in short BCMRA, with 9 other ASEAN members. Currently, there are 3 products identified under this MRA, namely steel and reinforcement bar, glass and cement. With the ratification of the MRA, the goal is to help reduce time and cost in the import and export processes of these building materials.
Adding further, he said the adoption of technological and innovative tools in the construction sectors will further strengthen knowledge and information on the implementation of sustainable practices.
With the way the Industrial Revolution 4.0 is taking shape around us, by 2050, robots will do the heavy lifting, while autonomous cranes and excavators will be handled by social humanoid robots. This is the envisioned future of the construction sector as we gear towards full-scale digitalization within its ecosystem.
Thus, strong cooperative measures between the government and the private sector are essential to ensure technology adoption and improvement within the sector can be successfully implemented.
Yang kami faham pakai mask.
Jarak mesti at least 1 meter.
Wash hand frequently. Tak mestilah pakai facial mask.
Penjarakan sosial.
First of all, macam kita masuk mall kah, sini-sini kedai, mesti scan.
Sentiasalah jaga doktor.
Kita jaga kita.
Kita jaga kita.
Kita jaga kita.
Kita jaga kita.
Kami nak cari wantan yang halal. Apa yang paling susah kami mau cari sebenarnya?
Selain wantan, kami ada jual sumai, kami ada jual dumpling.
Di sini kita akan ke Baut Sarawak, jauh sikit daripada Kuching tu, untuk mengalami suasana duduk di rumah panjang. Dengan cerita si Elia sebenarnya dari kecil dan yang mula minat mengolah seni tembikar. Dan yang mengolah seni tembikar sejak umurnya 6 tahun. Dalam rancangan Keringat Usahawan.
Welcome back. All ministries will have to show their initial accomplishments within 100 days. As such, the Malaysia Family Aspiration Achievement Report Card will be made public, affirming that the government sets the aspirations achievements for every cabinet member as the highest priority in providing the best service to the people.
Prime Minister Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said this is to allow the people to assess the performance of ministers and their ministries in ensuring the well-being of Keluarga Malaysia. According to the Prime Minister, the Cabinet meeting on September 10 decided that the 100 days would begin on September 1st, the day of the first Cabinet meeting. The implementation of all initiatives for each aspiration was based on 6 key thrusts, namely restructuring the economy, assuring national security and public order, enhancing social well-being, improving overall infrastructure, strengthening unity based on the Keluarga Malaysia model, and empowering service delivery. Commenting further, the Prime Minister said the performance of each minister will be assessed based on 3 key elements, namely the ministry or department performance assessment, leadership assessment based on the effectiveness of the initiative, and public perception assessment of cabinet ministers and the ministries or departments under their purview.
Inclusive development should be the main key in the 12th Malaysia Plan to ensure that no groups would be left out. Hence, initiatives and strategies to uplift economic growth and opportunities moving towards a high-income nation should be the priority.
Namun dalam peralihan untuk menjadi negara berpendapatan tinggi, Tuan Ketua, realiti kehidupan rakyat dan komuniti perniagaan yang terjejas teruk akibat pandemik lebih setahun lalu perlu diberikan penelitian dan pertimbangan yang sewajarnya di samping kepentingan masyarakat Bumi Putra, khususnya di Sabah dan Sarawak, untuk mendapat faedah daripada pertumbuhan ekonomi ini. Jika sebelum ini rakyat Malaysia dikategorikan dalam kumpulan pendapatan B40, M40 dan T20, realitinya kini sudah berlaku rombakan ketara apabila ramai daripada kalangan M40 yang tergelincir ke dalam kumpulan B40 kerana kehilangan mata pencarian atau terjejas sumber pendapatan sepanjang pandemik.
Muhyiddin also said focus should also be given to provide job opportunities in various sectors, such as the manufacturing and services to ensure the development of human capital and talents to fill the need for socio-economic development. He said the government needed to continue with the proactive measures under the National Employment Council to reach the target of creating 500,000 job opportunities. Currently, 376,000 job seekers had been employed under this government initiative.
As of August 30th, the Science, Technology and Innovation Ministry, MOSTI, has spent 314 million ringgit of the 1 billion ringgit allocated to the National COVID-19 Immunization Program, PICK. Its Minister, Dato Sri Dr. Adam Baba, said the costs included the rental and utilities for the vaccination centres, PPV, cleaning and sanitation, disposable equipment and the welfare of the employees at the PPVs. Adam added that the funds were also utilized to strengthen the data integration network and system for the vaccination process, as well as attempts to increase vaccine registration rates in each parliamentary constituency. Adding further, MOSTI, the Ministry of Health and related agencies are also improving the contact tracing system, including data sources, to identify and analyze interactions and to determine the details of the risk of the spread of the virus. He explained that the 60 million ringgit allocated for national vaccine manufacturing research and development includes the productions of all sorts of vaccination for people and animals. Adam also mentioned that the government will develop a roadmap or strategic plan for the development of national vaccines, which will be announced on November 1st by the Prime Minister. As we prepare to enter the endemic phase, one might be curious about what post-COVID-19 life will be like for individuals who refuse to get vaccinated. Will they receive the same treatment as those who are fully vaccinated? Statistically, an estimated 5.7% of the total adult population have yet to register for the national COVID-19 immunization program. Therefore, given the matter, the Ministry of Health may issue an order or recommendation in regards to handling the COVID-19 pandemic without vaccination.
Kepada mereka ni kita masih ada program advokasi, masih lagi ada program advokasi supaya mereka terus mendaftar dalam MySejahtera, supaya kita boleh memvaksinkan mereka. Dan sekiranya mereka refuse ataupun tidak mahu memvaksinkan, bermakna nanti satu ketika KKM akan mengeluarkan perintah ataupun cadangan bagaimana kita boleh terus mengurus pandemik COVID-19 tanpa vaksinasi.
Former MOSTI Minister Khairi Jamaluddin announced that the government will consider a certificate of exemption for any individual who are unable to receive COVID-19 vaccine to replace the vaccine passport. He said individuals eligible to be exempted includes those who have allergies or lack of infection resistance.
To ensure confidence and good governance in Malaysia, rapid legislation change is required, particularly the anti-hopping law. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Parliament and Law, Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar said an anti-hopping rule was needed to improve political stability. Besides improving political stability, Wan Junaidi added that the change is essential to increase public trust in the democratic process and to guarantee that the electorate's vote was respected. Expressed that a proper and adequate engagement is required because it is not an easy task as politicians and political parties have their own views and may not agree with the matter. Adam also mentioned that limiting the Prime Minister's term to not more than 10 years is another important reform. This is to provide reassurance to the people that no one person can stay in office for too long, as well as reducing the possibility of corruption, other malpractices like nepotism and cronyism. Basic knowledge on Undi 18 should be given to individuals of 18 years and above before the 12th state election is held. Political analyst Dick Lembang is confident that voters 18 years and over are ready in making choices provided they are equipped with basic knowledge.
So, bila kita bercakap kepada kematangan undi 18 ini, saya rasa perkara yang perlu dititik beratkan adalah pendidikan terhadap mereka, dan sekiranya kita laksanakan sekarang, dan apa yang penting juga kita perlu mendidik para pengundi yang akan mencecah 18 ini dari peringkat awal seperti yang pernah saya katakan dahulu, iaitu pada peringkat umur 16 tahun, 17 tahun. Mereka perlu diketengahkan dengan berkaitan dengan politik ini.
Therefore, he said, the right for an 18-year-old to vote is a good decision taken for the future of the country.
Saya percaya kecenderungan undi 18 ini nanti mereka bijak membuat keputusan, dan ini yang perlu dipastikan oleh pengundi berumur 18 ini, bahawa peluang yang telah diberikan oleh kerajaan ini harus digunakan sebaik-baiknya dalam membuat keputusan memilih seseorang wakil rakyat yang betul-betul memperjuangkan hak rakyat. Dan saya percaya pengundi 18 ini memang akan boleh membuat keputusan yang baik untuk kelangsungan, untuk demi masa depan kita sesebuah negara.
On Wednesday, the Election Commission EC confirmed that a total of 5.8 million voters aged 18 years and above have been registered, and they can automatically check their participations from today until October 31st. The level of 4G coverage in populated areas has reached 94% as of the end of August 2021. This comes as a result of the implementation of the National Digital Network Plan, JENDELA, a significant improvement from 91.8% in September 2020 since it was first introduced.
According to the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission (MCMC), for the same period, the country's average mobile broadband speed showed an increase of 29.14 megabits per second compared to 25 megabits per second previously, as well as increase of premises that have been covered with fiber optic network at 6.255 million compared to 4.95 million premises in September 2020. Meanwhile, under Phase 1 of JENDELA plan, a total of 1,661 new communication towers will be built in urban and rural area. To improve internet coverage at sparsely populated area in the interiors amounting to 839 locations, a satellite broadband access VSAT services, all of which were carried out in the fourth quarter this year. MCMC said the encouraging development of the implementation of JENDELA was driven by the strong support given by the state governments, local authorities, cooperation from industry apart from the government's commitment to ensure better internet connectivity as well as driving the country's digital economy growth.
This reverse perspective 3D, I would say, is the first in Malaysia.
Menggunakan botol plastik terpakai dan lebih berkonsepkan kita semula.
Saksikan Travelog Round dengan kami setiap Sabtu jam 5.15 petang hanya di TVS, saluran 122 Astro dan My TV.
This NGO is actually founded to doing some green initiative. Like in Malaysia alone is 15,000 tons of food waste being produced. The role of the Black Soldier Supply is just like an eco-warrior. They actually can convert the food waste, solve the food waste issue.
During MCO, we did encounter that some of the farmers they have a problem in marketing their produce. We are helping them to buy the produce and then we sell it to the other big company.
Welcome back. What was once a cooling lava lake is now a new fissure eruption. The U.S. Geological Survey USGS said Hawaii's Kilauea volcano was erupting in full swing late on Wednesday.
The U.S. Geological Survey Hawaiian Volcano Observatory HVO elevated Kilauea volcano alert level from watch to warning and its aviation color code from orange to red as the new eruption and associated hazards are evaluated. The latest alert level and color code imply that a hazardous eruption is imminent, underway, or suspected. Fortunately, the eruption was not in an area with homes and was fully contained within the Hawaiian Volcanoes National Park.
A new kind of COVID detector can sniff out the virus in the air and raise the alarm. The device uses the same technique as PCR tests and has been trialed at an airport and schools in the northeast of England. It collects air, condenses that air into a small droplet of water, and tests that through a full analysis process. It then gives the result of presence or absence of COVID every 30 minutes.
The system is designed to test the air in large spaces rather than individual people and is aimed at airports, entertainment venues, colleges, shops, and hospitals. The developer Chromex said these type of detectors will provide data needed to keep the people safe. The machine can test hundreds of liters of air per minute and is also able to recognize even the trace levels of virus. The COVID detector is in pre-production and is ready to be deployed commercially. CROMAC is also developing technology to detect all known, novel and mutating airborne pathogens, bacteria and viruses, which could act as an early warning system deployed around cities.
Well, that concludes TVS Nightline. I'm Ruben Gomez. Anytime, anywhere.